Welcome back, fellow camis. In this episode, we'll talk about boons, all calls, and how not to put out a fire in your pants with an ice pick. So stay tuned. In local news, the Q&A period has come to an end, and it's time to begin our voting period for the Maryland DST election. Your candidates are Charles Lloyd and Noda. Noda has been quoted as saying, "We can't keep these emergency responders down here forever." A few reminders: no write-ins will be accepted. Any vote not for Charles Lloyd will be considered a vote for Noda. There is some ambiguity about misspellings, though. Maybe. Votes should take the format of first choice, second choice. If you have third and fourth choice, and you know who you are, I'm looking right at you, reconsider. Votes must be received by the following three proctors in order to be counted: Shane Evans, Heather McDonald, and Michael Kruger. I will include their emails in the doobly-doo along with the important details. So vote. Make sure you vote. Make sure your vote also contains your name and MES number. I can tell you from personal experience that only 2 of the 3 proctors will let you know they received your vote. You know who you are. The voting period will end at midnight on October 24th, 2017, so get your votes in. The domain meeting was today, and by today, I mean I'm back from there, and if you weren't at the domain meeting, so when I say today, I mean today now, not today when you're watching. And at this point, it's purely philosophical anyway. In East Central Regional News, an all-call went out for staff for the East Central Regional event to be held in Cincinnati, Ohio, April 4th through the 8th, 2018. They're looking for event second and admin lead, registration lead, charity lead, volunteers and prestige lead, basically everyone. I'll include the text and contact info down below in the doobly-doo. If you're interested, reach out and volunteer. Remember, we're a volunteer organization. We're relying on you. Applications will be accepted for these positions until 10/30/2017 at 11:59 p.m. I'm assuming Eastern time or whatever time zone they're in. Submissions will be reviewed as they arrive after the close of the applications period. Applicants may be contacted for additional information and consideration. Barring unforeseen circumstances, all decisions on these positions should be made no later than 11/6/2017 at 11:59 p.m. time zone to be determined. All applicants for a position will be informed once the position has been filled. In MES news, the Southern California Regional event at SoCon is November 2nd through the 5th in Ontario, California. Ontario, California. Not the one in Canada. The one in California. They will be hosting Masquerade, Apocalypse, and Sabbat. There'll be an Anarch-hosted event Thursday night and a Cam-hosted event Saturday night. There's a link to a volunteer survey, but since I'm lazy and late to the game on this, I don't know if this link will still be valid, but go check it out. Schedule and info regarding registration and hotel will be down in the doobly-doo. Pre-registration for the Northeast Regional Showcase event is still going on. Gain 3 bonus fuel for your choice of game, which can be split up among different games, plus benefits specific to each game you pre-register for. Links will be down in the doobly-doo. I also want to let everyone know that the charity auction for the Northeast Regional Showcase is now live. Links for that will also be in the doobly-doo. Remember, It's for charity. Good things to be had, good things to be done. In Masquerade news, for those Harpy, Virago, Boonkeeper players who are interested and not already using their own methods to keep things recorded, Renee Ritchie has a Google form they use for logging boons that captures email for all parties involved, creditor, debtor, Harpy of record, type of boon, reason, and any stipulations. It can work for pretty much any sect. If you're interested, hit Renee up. I will include an email down in the doobly-doo. In space news, the ANST Space has put out an all-call for graphic artists for some projects. One will be build warning or safety notices and direction street signs in a symbolic alien language, which you would also design with the Conlanger team. Hey, I just read the words that are written. The second will be to create icons or heraldry to represent the noble houses and the megacorps, and maybe even a few other things. Candidates don't have to apply to work on both projects, but should note which project or both they seek to work on in their application. The ideal candidates can work well with a team to a deadline and produce media in common digital file types for easy distribution with plot and possible addition to the wiki. Please be aware that they're working tight deadlines with venue launch, and you should plan to be available to put significant time in between now and January. Well, now as in when I do this, not now as in when you see this, in case you see this later. Time travel sucks. Anyone who's interested, please send your application to the ANST and the ANST COS no later than October 27th, 2017 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Those email addresses will be down in the doobly-doo. In your application, please include your name and MES number, at least 2 to 3 samples of your work, a link to a website or database or anything like that is fine, short description of your experience or background, and any relevant information. A background in psychology or marketing is an advantage. I'm going to say that again. A background in psychology or marketing is an advantage. You read into that what you will. Please note this in your application. The Mage and Synthetic guides are out and available on the MES Infinite Edge venue page. The Space staff are still working on Changeling and a few others that'll be out soon, so stay tuned. The venue page link will be down in the doobly-doo. As a reminder, VSSs should be set to global approval. This is now reflected in the VSS Creation Toolkit. She's given us a glimpse at the possible document release schedule, but things should be considered fluid. As soon as possible, by the end of October, they are hoping to get out the VIP guide, the guide to the core, the Changeling guide, Origins, and an expanded soft RP guide. By December, they're hoping to get the Cybernetics and Plugins guide, Stygian Gates and Travel guide, Dimension guide, Spaceship guide, Economy and Resource System, Antagonist guide, and by the venue hard launch, they're hoping for Custom Rules Guide, Research System, Chartered Company Guide, the Armory, the Splat-specific mechanics, the Bestiary, and the Crafting Guide. They've had a bit of a shakeup in staff, and the current core staff team is, and I'm going to butcher all your names, so if you like to make sure I get them pronounced properly in the future, just shoot me a comment with it phonetically spelled out maybe, or a punctuation and pronunciation guide, maybe annotations somewhere. I don't know. Laura Bousted is Chief of Staff, Laura Simpson as the ANST Werewolf, Andrew Logan as the ANST Changeling, and Jake Wishman as Team Sanity Check. I'll put this list and the document list in the doobly-doo down below, so you can check that out. Editorial moment. I have a question. Why are there no coordinator lists? We have VST lists. Why don't we have coordinator lists? Coordinator is, according to many, the hardest job in the CAM. And I can totally believe this. It's demanding, requires a good bit of time, it's got more than its fair share of paperwork. If you're new to the club, it's certainly not the easiest job you could pick to run for. So why isn't there a coordinator mailing list? Is there, and I've never heard of it? Because if there is, no one I've talked to's heard of it. Of all the jobs that needs a solid way to communicate across a broad cross-section of the membership, coordinator's it. As a VST, if I had a question, I shot an email out across the ST list, and before long, I'd have 5 or 6 people offering to help me out, clarify rules, offer helpful suggestions. Now I know what some of you are saying. The coordinator has the regional coordinator. Okay, that's one person. As a VST, I have every other ST in my domain, my DST, the ARST for my venue, and every other ST for my venue in the region. Who do coordinators have to lean on and reach out to for help? We have a rule book, but the rule book doesn't really help you figure out a good way to run a survey or the best way to handle a problematic member or give advice for coordinating schedules or game sites. There are purists who don't want to see anything on a list that isn't specific to that list's topic. So what list is my coordinator supposed to ping when they need help with wording for a counseling letter or ideas for encouraging member participation or the best way to run a survey? Maybe we should have a coordinator list? And that was my editorial moment. And that's it for this episode of the MES News. I'm your host, Darren Hansen. If you like what I do here and you want to see more of my incoherent ramblings, please perform the ritual of like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, keep LARPing.